And meanwhile, the 15-year-old from China, Wu Lu Fong, getting set on the bars. I think you come to this and everyone kind of learning some of the names that we will know a lot about over the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, these are virtually unknown, these gymnasts. They've competed, occasionally internationally and, of course, in China, but...
And there are so many more like them still back home. And what's interesting is later this year are the World Championships, a team event. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did see some of these athletes on this team.
But not all of them.
And not all of them.
Is that part and parcel of the approach that China takes oftentimes, working up towards the Olympic Games?
It is, no question about it. And they really revamped the strategy of a lot of teams because beautiful release there. But gymnastics is a reputation sport. And so every time the USA goes out on the floor, another great routine, Marta Corelli wants them to not just win, but to dominate. The Chinese feel that it doesn't matter. And sometimes they go to an event, and to be perfectly honest, the athletes are not as prepared as they could be, and it's a learning experience for them.
Meanwhile, Georgia Wheeler from Australia, some mistakes in that floor exercise and a score of 12.15.
And that's unfortunate because now they're forced to count a score from a junior athlete that was 12.9. Very low, bad start.
All right, for Canada now on vault, the 16-year-old Brittany Rogers, who came in 7th in this back in the World Championships in 2009. In fact, she was the only one from Canada to qualify for an individual event final.
Well, she is a veteran of this team. She says she still needs to become physically and mentally tougher at these types of competitions.
Saw her teammate Dominique Pegg earlier. She received 14.15 on the vault. And Wu Lu Fong, the bar score 14.5.
I actually think it might be a little bit low. They were a little bit tough on her, had over 2 points in deductions on that exercise.
The Americans getting set. We'll see them next when we come back to the Pacific Rim Gymnastics Championships here in Melbourne. Chance for the young American athletes to see the world. Here they are in Melbourne, set to go after that opening bye. Now, after the first rotation, China on top. Canada just behind Australia, of course, with some mistakes on the floor exercise. So the Americans just about ready to go. Terry Gannon along with Elfie Schlegel and Tim Daggett, the Chinese team, getting set for the beam.
And they can be great there. And I'll tell you, these routines that we're about to see are jam-packed with difficulty.
The U.S. will start on the vault.
And, I think this is probably the strongest vaulting team I've ever seen put on the floor by Team USA.
And here's China now on the beam. Zhang Tong, 16 years of age.
I think what the Chinese have proven over the years on balance beam is fluidity, along with great acrobatic skills, of course, but a great mindset for this apparatus, which is crucial when you're up on a podium and working on a 4-inch balance beam.
And that big acro skill right here, front with a half. And that is disastrous. Right there, whenever you fall on any apparatus now, it used to forever be 0.5 of a point, now a full point off. So China is going to want to be able to toss this routine out right off the bat.
And the difficulty, of course, today with the new rules is whatever you decide to do in terms of acrobatic skills, you better be awfully sure that you're doing it well, because a full point really throws you out of a competition.
We hear coaches talk about how difficult it is now under the code of points system. What specifically has made it so difficult?
Well, basically what it comes down to is the more you do, the harder the elements that you do, the higher potential score. But every time you do one of these, like she's going to do another acrobatic skill right here, every time you do that, that's a huge risk. And so it comes down to risk and return.
But of course, the routines that we remember at this stage of competition are the routines that have risk. Those are the memorable routines. You want athletes to do something just a little bit different.
A little bit low on that landing, but great routine except for that fall.
Now, Rebecca Bross, the 16-year-old from Plano, Texas, the silver medalist from the World Championships last year. She was edged out by Bridget Sloan and has had a great season so far this year.
Big vault, the American Cup champion. Well, a good job. Actually, a little bit sloppy in the air. Could be a bit tighter.
But one of her greatest gifts in this sport is how she approaches competition and how she handles competition. She's very aggressive. She's not afraid of her routines.
You see that foot staying inside that yellow or orange area. If it steps out, of course, an additional deduction.
15.05 the score, though.
It's a good score, but I think we can see a little stronger from some of the other Americans.
Zhang Tong for the beam, 13.15, and as you mentioned, they'd love to be able to throw that out.
Yeah, they can't afford another score like that.
Wu Fong getting set, the 15-year-old for China. They've had their problems already, China has, on the beam. A little bit earlier, Wang Shu-Shuang. Watch what happens here.
Not good.
This has been a disastrous beam effort so far for the Chinese.
But remember, for this team, unknowns, they're here to test the waters. They're trying to figure out how they're handling this level of competition and their skills. So they have a long way to go.
Second apparatus now. Second effort for Wu Fong. Already on the bars, now on the beam.
And they cannot afford any more mistakes. That last routine had 2 major falls in it.
Already off the top, some beautiful work, showing great flexibility. Anytime that you lose sight of the beam, you can rest assured that that's a very risky element. But this is what balance beam is made up of, combinations such as this.
And that one right there, she will not get. She's supposed to keep moving from that first acrobatic skill into those next 2. She loses some combination points there. That was solid. You know, we've seen the falls so far from China on beam, but I'll tell you, they are just exquisite. Everything that they do, the body positions.
Yeah, they have the qualities of being exceptional athletes. And again, along with that, having this type of routine, you need to be able to compete it over and over again at high-end competitions. So it's the consistency. That's what they're working on.
Here's a double pike dismount. That was a great routine.
Yeah, pretty gymnastics. Very pretty.
So they couldn't afford any more mistakes, and Wu Fong, a solid effort on